Hi, and welcome to part 5 of the You Can Be Anything podcast skills series. I am your host, Solange Che, and thanks for joining me today. By now, if you took part in part 4 of this skills series, you must have determined what kind of a learner you are. And if you have done that, I bet your journey just got easier. Today, we are talking about expectations, right? What are your expectations as you go on this journey? Before I go to that even, what is the main thing that actually pushed you to upskill? For me, personally, it was the money, that drive to live a better life. When I just learned about Salesforce and I decided to upskill, right, to switch career and upskill, one of the first things I did was go online and Google how much a Salesforce administrator earns. When I saw the numbers, I bet you that the trigger just got like faster. Truth be told, that was almost 4 times what I was making on my survival job. Why wouldn't I then go for it? As my friend Faiwokita have said in the last episode, why would I settle for less when I know that I can have more? Why? So when I started this journey, my expectation was that by the end of it, my standard of living will be different. And I am grateful that today it is. I am grateful that today I am living a better life than I was living 5 years ago. So I am here today to talk to you about these expectations. Yes, that is a financial expectation side of it. That is like what drives you to want to do this. For me, at first, yes, it was the money. For other people, it could just be that desire to work only weekdays. It could be that desire to be able to work from home. It could be that desire to, it could be anything. But I bet you that personally, my first drive was the change, the cap. All right, that is the first thing that motivated me. That is the first thing that I expected to get out of the sacrifice I had to make. Whatever yours is, make sure that it stays ahead. Make sure that you keep reminding yourself of what you expect to get when this journey is done. On the other side, I want to talk about another kind of expectation that you want to have on this journey. While on this upskilling journey, please expect that you're going to have difficult days. Expect that you're going to face challenges that will just make your head want to explode. Expect that there's going to be that day that you feel like you want to give up. That is the reason I'm making this episode, to prepare your mind, to prepare you for it. So that when it comes, you can tell yourself that, hey, Solange spoke about this, and hey, you know what? I am not giving up. I am not giving up because I find this difficult. I'm not giving up because I think that this is super hard. Yes, as you go on this journey, again, there are going to be concepts that will be easy peasy for you to grasp and move on. But there are also going to be those concepts that will be a little bit more difficult for you to comprehend. What do you do at that time? What I did was that I re-strategized. I changed my approach. I changed my methodology specifically towards that concept. What am I saying here? If you are a reading/writing kind of learner, the kind of person that wants to read books and move on, right? You read and you make your summaries and you go ahead. If there is a specific concept that is giving you trouble, you want to change your strategy. Maybe you want to go ahead and look more into the visual learning, right? You want to watch a video of somebody doing that thing that is so hard for you. Or you want to talk to another person who understands that concept so they can explain it to you. You just want to switch, like move things around a little bit. It helped me. Truth be told, it did help me. And so I'm hoping that this can also help. Instead of you giving up and saying that, oops, this one I know they me do, please don't do that. Just try another methodology. We all know that upskilling, especially as adults, it's not even easy. Especially as family people, we all have other things happening in life already. So it takes dedication to be able to do this. So once you have decided that this is what you're going to do, I just want you to prepare your mind and say that, hey, if things are looking so well now, if one day something happens and I get introduced to a new concept on this same skill I'm learning that I find challenging, please may that not make you give up. May that challenge instead make you re-strategize and ask for help, change your methodology or ask for help. I love to use myself as an example all the time because what is my goal here? My goal is to use my experience in my journey in this whole upskilling part of my life, right? To motivate anyone out there who is also doing the same thing. It wasn't easy. There were times that I felt like giving up. There were times I actually gave up, right? And that's why I stand here today to tell you that even if you need a break, take that break, but don't wait too long. Take a break for a week. More than 2 weeks is already too much time for you to get back and start reminding yourself of what you're doing. Just take a break. Maximum a week. But get back to it. But I'm betting you that the break is necessary. I took a longer break. And when I came back, I found myself going all the way back. And that's why I'm telling you today that please, even if you take a week, take a break, make sure it's not more than a week long. Because I tried that and it did not pan out well. Okay? So please, again, what is my main point here? Your expectations. Set your expectations right. And one of those expectations that I want you to be ready for is that those concepts will come that will challenge you. But when they challenge you, please do not give up. I have seen people give up because at one point they felt that, hey, this is not for me because they could not understand that one little concept. All these people we see out here that are experts, masters of all what they do, I bet you that it is not every concept in whatever subject or walk of life that they are learning that they are masters of. People have strong points and they have weak points. That challenge that you've just faced might just be your weak point. Which doesn't mean that you cannot do it. It only means that you're going to need more time to do it. As I say, I was going to give an example of myself when I learned Salesforce. So there are two automation processes in Salesforce that I want to talk about today. One is called Process Builder. The other one is called Salesforce Flows. When I learned Salesforce, I fell in love with Process Builder. So I did not spend too much time learning Salesforce Flows. I used Process Builder to do most of the automation that I had to set in the Salesforce org, right? But there came a time when I was required to learn Salesforce Flows. The truth is that I found it very challenging. I felt like I could do the basic ones, but if I had to do a flow that required a little bit of complexity, oh God, that was going to be my worst day at work. What did I do? I changed my strategy. I started talking to colleagues. Like, I know colleagues that are strong, that they are stronger with the Salesforce flows, they understand it better. So I'll reach out to a colleague and say, hey, you know what about you said, do a case study for me. Let me try to solve it using the flow and we can walk through it. Bless where I work, right? I had two colleagues who actually opted to say, yes, Solange, I'm going to give you a flow case study and you're going to figure it out, build the flow, and you and I are going to walk through it. That is how I started getting better at complex Salesforce flows. Because I'll build a use case, I'll take it, I'll spend time. After work, I am still on my computer because I'm trying to figure out that thing because it was hard for me. It took me a minute to understand how variables work in a Salesforce flow. Does it mean that I'm not great at Salesforce? No. It just means that when it comes to that particular aspect of Salesforce, I struggle with it a little bit. It takes me a longer time to build a Salesforce flow than it would take me to probably build some reports or do some approval processes or maybe deal clean data and stuff like that. So it just means that that particular aspect of my whole skill takes me a little bit more time than others. And that is how every human being is. Nobody is top-notch 100% in every aspect of what they are doing. No. So I want you to have that in mind as you go on this journey. Expect those roadblocks. But when those roadblocks come, please do not be discouraged. Do not give up on your learning. Because that might just be one of those things that, like me, you're going to have to need a little bit more time to deal with. But it doesn't mean that you cannot do. You just need a little bit more time to process it. So I hope that this helps you. I hope that you get the points here. And I pray that you don't give up on your journey. I've had people whom I mentored, they got to one point and they're like, hey, Solange, this is not working for me anymore. I try to understand why, and it all boiled down to stuff like this. This is why I'm using that experience now to talk to you who is on this journey, to understand that because there is one concept that you don't get, doesn't mean that you're not going to be good at what you're learning. Please do not give up on yourself. Give yourself some grace, as I always say. We are all special. Just the fact that we're deciding to learn something new at this age, considering every other thing that is happening in life, means that you're special. So please, trust yourself, tackle the roadblocks, change your strategy, and ask for help. Once you get that handled, you will realize that there is no other thing that will stand in your way as you go on this journey of finding your best version. I hope that this helps you. Next week, we'll be talking on part 6 of the podcast skills series. And in part 6, what I hope to tackle in part 6 is geographical location, because I've had a ton of people reach out to me and say, hey, Solange, I have seen different skills that I can learn. You talked with Alphonse last week. Alphonse is talking about AWS. Can I learn AWS from anywhere else in the world apart from the US? And so I decided that I'm going to make part 6 about geographical location. We're going to talk about how whether or not your geographical location should be a hindrance to you learning a new skill. Thank you so much for being a keen listener. Thank you for being a supporter of the You Can Be Anything podcast. And I'll see you next week. Be good to each other and bye.